Are you familiar with the 5 spirits in Chinese medicine? Back when I was in school, we never looked at them. We brushed really quickly, and I felt like it wasn't enough. So today I wanted to do a quick, short, straight to the point, pun intended, video on the 5 spirits. When it comes to the 5-element theory, each element corresponds to different season, climate, colors, organs, and spirits. Often we do not mention them. So today I'm going to share the purpose of each of the 5 spirits, which organ are they connected to, what happened when they're in balance, but especially what happened when they're out of balance, and what are the best acupuncture points to help each of the spirits. Make sure to take notes because this is packed with tips you can use in your professional life and in your personal life. Welcome back to my channel, AcuPro Academy. If it's your first time here, I'm Clara, and yes, this is the first time I'm doing this outside. I'm usually in my office, but today I figure we should enjoy beautiful British Columbia. So if it's your first time here, I create Chinese medicine and acupuncture contents for students and practitioners, making it easy to grasp and fun to learn. Let's go. Can you hear the birds? This is very spiritual, right? Because we're talking about the 5 spirits today. So the 5 spirits are the Han, the Po, the Yi, the Zhi, and the Shen. Now, don't quote me on my pronunciation of Mandarin because French person speaking English, trying to pronounce Chinese. Those 5 spirits are a remarkable entity of TCM because at the core, Chinese medicine is all about balancing body, mind, and spirit. And I think often we forget to address this. This is so useful in clinical practice to support our patients. These 5 spirits represent different aspects of a person's consciousness and play a vital role in maintaining balance and harmony within the body, mind, and spirit. Imbalances of any of those spirits can lead to physical or emotional health issues. This is why it's important to address and look into it with each patient. When I went back to school for 5 years to do my doctorate program in Chinese medicine, I needed a plan. How was I going to pay my rent, basic necessities like food, and how was I going to pay for all the tuitions? Of course, we can borrow money. I don't like to borrow money. So I needed a plan. How was I going to continue to work so I could provide for myself while in school? A lot of us have done this, and I needed to figure it all out. And I did. I went to see my boss. I was managing a fitness club at the time. And I went and asked him and said, I want to stay and work for you, but I won't be able to put more than 24 hours a week. That means working weekends, evenings, anytime I could. And he said, if you can manage it, you can stay. And guess what? I worked really hard to be able to stay because I was provided with a job that I knew everything about because I was already comfortable while being in school. And so my boss at the time was the best thing that could ever happen to me. But I planned everything to make sure that I was supported so I could really put my mind into school as well. Well, this leads us to the first of the 5 spirits, the Han, which connects in TCM to the liver. The Han is often referred to as the ethereal or non-corporeal spirit. It is associated with the liver and is considered responsible for the more subtle aspects of the mind and consciousness. The Han is related to our dreams, aspiration, to set long-term goals, and the ability to plan for the future, like I did when I went back to school. It is said that the Han leaves the body during sleep and returns when we wake up. This is why at nighttime, it's really important to not wake up during liver time and sleep, to allow the Han to go into the body and then come back in the morning. It embodies the more subtle and transcendent aspects of human consciousness. When the liver is in balance, it allows the Han to flourish, leading to clear thinking, vision, and the ability to plan and set goals. It fosters creativity and a sense of purpose in life, which makes sense because this is how we have goals and purpose. Imbalances, on the other hand, of the Han can manifest as emotional issues such as irritability, mood swings, depression, or an inability to set and achieve goals. Now, I have patients like this that cannot have a vision, a goal, or do not plan everything and feel scattered and feel not grounded as well, right? Best acupuncture point to use to support the Han are liver 3 because it's a great point to relax the chi, to move the chi for better purpose, for better decision making, and to be able to plan without frustration. Makes sense. The second one is gallbladder 24, not 34. Gallbladder 24, because it's one of the best points for those who have no direction in life, don't know their purpose, don't know why they're here. This is really guiding the body and the mind and the spirit to connect in order for the person to find their direction in life. Isn't that fantastic? So that's the first spirit, the run, connected to the liver and specifically to our vision, our goal, and our planning ability. Make sense? Let's look at number 2. Let's take a big, deep breath. The second spirit is the Po. The Po connects to the lung, so breathing ability is very important when it comes to the Po. I have a patient that when she comes, I can see her shallow breathing. It's so shallow. And when I ask her to take a big deep breath, she cannot. She goes, and I'm like, well, that's not a big deep breath, right? So let's look at how we can take big deep breath and relax the chest, open the chest. Now let's talk about the Po, or the spirit of the Po. The Po is called the corporeal spirit. The Po is associated with the physical body and is related to the lungs. As I said, it represents the more earthly and tangible aspect of a person's consciousness, including sensory experiences, desires, emotion, and specifically survival instincts and basic bodily function. The Po is said to reside in the body and dissipate upon death. The breath is considered the interface between the physical body and the external world. This is why I said at the beginning that breathing is really important, because the Po obviously leaves us when we pass because there is no breathing. Make sense? So the Po is really our connection from the mind to the body, and that relates to the lung and our breathing ability to be able to connect our physical with our emotional. The Po's connections to the lung makes it intimately connected to the act of breathing and the exchange of qi coming in and qi coming out. When the Po is not balanced, it can manifest as feeling of insecurity, fearfulness, and specifically phobias. When we're fearful of germs and things that touch our skin or we don't want to be touched, that is very much a Po issue. What are the best points to help support the Po when you see patients having difficulty in connecting their body to their mind, or their breathing ability is very shallow? First, lung 9, because it's the influential point of the blood vessel and allows our breathing ability, or our lung and heart, to connect. So our spirit and breathing ability to connect. The next one is lung 3, which is a window of the sky point. We haven't talked about this much in school either, the windows of the sky, right? So that's for another video. But for now, lung 3 regulates the flow of qi between the body and the mind. This is what I was talking about, how the lung, or the Po, connects our body with our mind. So there's not a disconnection. And we see a lot of patients that are disconnected from their emotion. Those points are fantastic, lung 9 and lung 3. The next one is the Zhi, which connects to the kidney and the willpower. So many of my patients have lost their willpower, their motivation. I think it's because we're on devices all the time and we can't focus anymore. We're just scrolling. So many interaction with the devices, and we are bombarded with different visual, and it's just too much. So we lose our motivation. So let's talk about the Zhi. The Zhi is associated with the kidney and represents willpower, determination, and the capacity to make choices. A strong Zhi helps individuals overcome obstacles, stay focused on their objectives, and achieve their aspirations. So as you can see, this is very much connected to the Hun, right? To the planner, the visionary, the goal-oriented, because all those 5 spirits are all connected. This is the 5 element. If one is out of whack, others are going to get affected. They're all related. It's not just a separation, right? Remember, it's all a big whole, but we can look at them in a different light and then make sure they're all balanced within the 5 spirits. The Zhi is associated with memory and cognitive function. It plays a role in one's ability to retain information, to make sound judgments, and think critically. So a balanced Zhi contributes to emotional resilience and specifically the ability to cope with life's challenges. So many people can't cope. When you can cope with challenges, because we all experience challenges, then you know that your Zhi is strong. I'm going to show you what points are great to support the Zhi so we can handle life's challenges, because we can't avoid those. They're going to happen to us, right? We have no choice. The Zhi helps people maintain a sense of purpose and direction, even in the face of adversity, just like I said. But when the Zhi is out of balance, it can lead to feeling of indecision, lack of motivation, and a sense of lack of purpose and just no aims, right? This is like when people don't know how to make decisions, they can't, they feel stuck. This is why one of the best points to support the Zhi is gallbladder 24, not 34, 24, because it's the best point to help us figure out our direction in life and have a purpose. Now that's a great point, right? The second one is kidney 3, because kidney 3 support a strong back. Our back has to be strong so we can handle life's challenges. We can stand tall and fight in the challenges, in the adversity. Does that make sense? So kidney 3 and gallbladder 24, best point to support the Zhi. Now let's talk about the Yi, the intellect. We are all such great intellect. I know you see this upside down, but this is my TCM rock stars, and we are all TCM rock stars. We are trying to use our intellect in order to grasp and comprehend this amazing medicine so we can support our patients and help as many people as we can. So let's talk about the Yi, which is connected to the spleen. And the spleen is one of my favorite because that's the one that I struggle with a lot because I'm a worrier and an overthinker. Are you too? Let me know. The Yi, or the intellect, is connected to the spleen and is responsible for thinking, not overthinking, reasoning, and intelligence. Now, the intelligence we're talking about here is not like, oh, I'm smarter and you're less smart and blah, blah, blah. No. We're talking about intelligence as in problem solving, critical thinking. I love to solve problems. I get really frustrated when I can't figure something out. But eventually, when I solve the problem and I can do it, I feel so good. It's so rewarding, right? You know what I mean. The Yi is associated with our capacity for logical analysis, memory, and like I said, problem solving. It represents the intellectual aspect of a person's consciousness and is associated with the ability to process information logically. The Yi plays a crucial role in decision making. As you can see, the Yi is connected to the Zhi because the Zhi was also helping us in making decisions. See how they're not separated, they're all connected. It's connected to the spleen, which means a healthy spleen leads to clearer thinking and the ability to solve problems. So it's really important that we give the spleen great nutrients so we can absorb those nutrients and utilize them for focus, concentration, great thinking, and solving problems. Can you hear the rooster next door? I love him. He's so cute. They have 40 chickens next door and 4 ducks. They are so fun, and the chickens come and say hello and they come and walk around. They're completely free. I love those. They're so cute. A balanced Yi enables people to focus, like I said, to remember information, to make connections between ideas. But when the Yi is not balanced, it can lead to forgetfulness, specifically forgetting where you put your keys, things that happened just very recently. Mental fog and difficulty in concentrating because we want to focus when our mind feels like completely foggy. That's a problem with the Yi. The 2 best points to support the Yi are stomach 40, because stomach 40 is the best point to clear phlegm. And when we feel foggy and the inability to think or problem solve, that is a phlegm problem. So stomach 40 is the best point. And the second one is spleen 6 because it allows us to be calm and can improve our cognitive function. You gotta love spleen 6. Come on. Make sure to subscribe because you're not gonna want to miss more videos coming your way. More outside. Let me know if you like me being outside and you like to hear the roosters. But make sure that you subscribe because that way I know that you enjoy what I have to share. And thank you. I'm so grateful for you every time you comment, share, like, and give me lots of love for all my publication. You are the best. Let's continue. The last one, but certainly not the least, the Shen. The one that we know about because we know the heart Shenman, which is heart 7, the gate of the mind, or the ear Shenman, which is the gate of the mind. So the Shen, the spirit, we talk about it in TCM all the time. So we truly know that well, but it is part of the 5 spirits. So let's look at what the Shen in that context means for us. The Shen is called the mind, or the connected spirit. It resides in the heart, as we know, and is associated with consciousness, awareness, and spirituality. It plays a crucial role in our emotional well-being and mental clarity. That's super important because it connects the Shen to the Yi, right? To be clear thinking. Makes sense. The Shen represents the conscious mind and awareness. It is the aspect of consciousness that experiences emotion, thoughts, and perception. Perception is how we see, feel, hear, taste everything around us. For example, as you're watching this video, you might think, oh, look at this tree or that tree or this tree. Other people may look at the colors. Oh, this is darker green. This is lighter green. Other people may focus on me and what I look like, right? We all have different perception. When you meet someone for the first time, your heart connects to them. There's a perception, or it doesn't, right? We perceive things differently. That's our Shen, that's our spirit. It is in charge of our emotional responses, including feeling of joy, love, and happiness, as we know that's connected to the heart in TCM. A balanced Shen allows emotions to be expressed and experienced in a healthy and harmonious way. Of course, we want to experience emotions. We know in TCM that all long-standing emotions will lead to a problem with the heart in TCM. Well, this is the same thing. We want to feel anger, allow it to be expressed, and let it go. We need to feel grief, but then we express it, and then we need to move forward, right? And when we can't, that's when the Shen is not doing its job. Does that make sense? A balanced Shen always fosters a sense of inner peace, purpose, which connects it to the Zhi as well, and spiritual growth, restful sleep, and of course, pleasant dreams. So as you can see, it's related to our consciousness, but the universe around us, our spiritual being. So it connects us all. This is a whole connection to the universe. We are connected, you and I, right now through the devices. I am connected to the trees, the water behind me, to the patio I'm standing on. We are all connected. This is Qi, this is energy, this is the universe. This is what the Shen connects us to, the outer world. I love that. And to our spiritual being. When the Shen is out of balance, however, it can lead to sleep disorders, nightmares, which makes sense in the TCM perspective, right? Mental health issues, paranoia, and depression. So when we have a lot of patients that have their Shen disturbed or out of balance, the 2 best points to start with, of course, we have to make a TCM diagnosis and we have to address what's going on with them. But we want to add up heart 7 for restful sleep. Does that make sense? Not dream disturbed one, but a really good deep sleep. The second one we want to add up is the Zen button, the 3rd chakra, Yin Tong, because this connects us to the higher power. Yin Tong connects us to our inner monk, our spiritual growth. That is fantastic. Don't you love that? So let's recap quickly the 5 spirits in TCM. The Han is the planner, the goal-oriented, the visionary. The Zhi is the willpower, the strong one that's going to go and be motivated. The Po connects our breathing with our mind and body connection, so we can be aware. The Yi is our intellect. It allows us to problem solve and think clearly. Boy, do I love that. And the Shen puts it all together by connecting us to the spiritual world, to the universe around us, and to each other. I am connected to you, and you are connected to me through TCM, through the devices, and through our love of learning more and growing together. If you haven't watched the 5 archetypes, go for it, because that is a great video that complements this one. No matter what, keep rocking it using TCM, and I'll see you in the next video.